Hey guys, I thought we'd play some Devil May Cry 3 here, and given the fact that I'm basically recording while I play the game, I think that it's probably best that we pick a difficulty that is easy enough to play, but not completely too easy that I won't be able to have any fun. I think the best difficulty to play for this little run would probably be normal, but yeah, I don't necessarily want to just play through the final mission. Oh, it's just going to skip to the final mission now, isn't it? Oh, great. Yeah. I just want to skip. Yeah, can we, is there a way that we can actually, I don't want to start this mission. God damn it, I don't want to fight you right now. This is spoilers, by the way, people. Just warning you that this is spoilers. I accidentally started this mission and I did not want to. Right, let's quit the game. I just put exit. I won't quit the mission, please. This is what I forgot to do. We're starting the game so I can actually talk. Whilst, I mean, honestly, it probably would be easier to just pick easy mode. Because that way, you know. But, I don't know. I'll just play normal. And we'll, just play through the game, because as I say, it'll be a lot easier at this point with all the power-ups that I've gotten anyway, so there's really no need to play on easy mode. But yeah, so the topic for the video, I better turn the audio on. The topic for the video is, when should you drop a franchise? And this is a fitting game for this video because, well, this is a franchise that, like, it's very inconsistent. That's all I'm going to say. Like, this game in particular is a really good game. This is a phenomenal game that I'm playing right now. I mean, it kind of goes without saying based on how much I've played it, as you can see, that it is a phenomenal game.
You a customer too?
Because I don't usually replay a game,
well,
let alone on a higher difficulty. But this game compelled me to do so because I enjoy it so much. I don't think that the series as a whole is like the best series ever, but I think this game is the best 3D beat 'em up of all time. I will definitely say that. 100%. I know a lot of people are going to say, Ninja Gaiden's better, but I disagree. Like, I think this game is better just simply because it's more simple and straightforward, and I just think it's better designed. Like, I feel that a lot of Ninja Gaiden fans are just in denial, and that's why they are so violent. Like, they're just kind of pissed off that Devil May Cry got all the attention and their beloved game didn't. And, yeah, like, I mean, come on, like, I think the biggest thing about, like, that whole, like, argument is just that, one, like, the only reason why people like Ninja Gaiden is because of the get good bullshit, you know, like the difficulty, whereas there's more than just difficulty in this game. I mean, look at this. You don't see shit like this in Ninja Gaiden. Like, this represents the 2000s perfectly. That's what this game is. This game is the 2000s. If I was to represent the 2000s, like, in any way, this would be it. This is the perfect representation of what 2000s gaming was all about.
This party's getting crazy. Let's rock.
Pretty much. Like, this is it. This is literally the definitive 2000s game. And this intro kind of sums it up. It's ridiculous. It's over the top. It's stupid, and there's that coolness factor. And yeah, like, it's got a lot going for it as this game. And I've always respected just how, like, focused this game is on achieving what it wanted to do. and it does so in a lot of amazing ways, and it's one of those games that is very hard to dislike. Like, you really have to, like, I mean, the one thing that is probably going to make people not like this game is its difficulty. I think that's the one thing that people aren't going to like, and, like, the camera in this game is, which is partially the difficulty, is dealing with the camera in this game, because it's not really the best in certain areas, but when the camera's fixed, it's great. When the camera allows for movement, it's not great, and that's kind of the biggest problem with the game. But yeah, as I say, Crazy Pie, the first mission in this game is just, like, it's just absolutely perfect. It just is, like, it just throws you straight in there. And I like to use Agony and Remover myself. I am by no means a good player of this game. I'm not, like, I'm a bit shit, to be honest. Like, but I enjoy playing this game nonetheless. Like, I'm not one of these people that will do all these, oh, hang on a minute, a bit of lag there. Not one of these people that will do all these crazy combos, like some people will. But yeah, this is one of those areas where the camera's a little weird. But yeah, you can, like, if you time it right when they're on the floor, you can actually get on top of them and do this. Like, that's one of the things that I've always liked about this game. Like, every single move that you see in the cutscenes, like almost every single move at least, is performable in-game. Like, it's almost like the cutscenes are like a demo for, like, the rest of the game. Like, that's kind of what they are. It's like, they kind of tell you what, give you, like, they kind of, like, inspire your creativity. That's kind of the whole purpose of, like, the cutscenes in the game. Like, everything blends in with the nature of this game, pretty much. And yeah, that's what makes the fun factor of this game. And it's just one of those things that'll never get old. So, you know, like, you can't not love Devil May Cry 3. And yeah, you can see here, you can do some crazy combos. You can switch weapons and on the fly and then do crazy shit like this. You know, and you can, and the game encourages you to do this, so it's like, it's not like the game's like, oh yeah, you can't really, like, there's no point in actually mixing it up. The game encourages you with its style gauge. So yeah, like, as you can see, that mission was something else, but that kind of, it's the perfect introduction to the game, because it shows what you can do in this game, and it just shows how crazy the combat is. Like, it really is. It's one of those games that really encourages experimentation, but at the same time, like, it's challenging if you don't know what you're doing. But if you know what you're doing, this game's a lot of fun. I think the best time to play this game is on a second playthrough. This is one of those games that's more fun to play when you're playing it a second time than if you're playing it the first time. That's not to say that first time players aren't fun, I just think that your first time through this game is going to be a little bit annoying. But when you've beaten the game and you go back, you're going to love it. That's kind of what Devil May Cry 3 is. But it is definitely an amazing game that we will never see again. Like, it just will never happen again. I love that. Ass! Like, ass is what we get. That's our rating. Freaking ass rating. Whatever. Yeah, I have a separate file for this. Yeah, I have a file for Devil May Cry 3 and Jak 3. For some reason my controller's a bit knackered. Do mind that. But yeah, so Devil May Cry 3, this is how we're going to tie this in with the nature of the topic, because Devil May Cry 3 is part of a franchise, like, as I say, it's not particularly what I would call, like, my favourite franchise, and I'm going to talk about that because even though this game is fucking amazing and phenomenal, I am not really a huge fan of the series as a whole, and I feel that particularly like the first game, like I really struggled to get into the first Devil May Cry game. Like I really did. Like that game is really hard to get into, and yet everybody worships that game. Like, and I just don't. Like, and then it's followed up with Devil May Cry 2, which, yeah, I don't need to say anything about that game, do I? I think everybody knows what that game's all about. I know Alex is a huge fan of the game, and I respect that, but let's not kid ourselves, that game has problems. So, then you have Devil May Cry 4, which Devil May Cry 4 was kind of like, it's what I would call like, the fans, it's like trying to pander to what the fans want in an age where Devil May Cry 3 exists. It's just like, you have the perfect game, like, right here with Devil May Cry, or near perfect game with Devil May Cry 3, and like, how do you follow that up? You know, that's kind of the problem with like, Devil May Cry, like, well, for this game, like Devil May Cry 4. It's like, it had to follow this game, and that's difficult, because how do you follow a game like this? You know, how do you surpass it? And I don't, like, even Devil May Cry 4, it didn't manage to do it, like, but it was still a fun game. I really like Devil May Cry 4 a lot, and a lot of people complained about it, like, they complained about, like, the whole, oh yeah, like, the game is, it's not good because, like Devil May Cry 3 was like so amazing, and then Devil May Cry 4, like, you have to go backtrack through all the levels. But I didn't mind that, because you were going back through the levels and shooting the like that thing, by the way, that's what I'm trying to do. So that it blows up and doesn't kill me. That's basically why I'm doing that. And yeah, trying to get near him so I can do this. But yeah, like, that's kind of like the thing about it. Like, people overreacted about that game, and I just feel that this game was just so good that it was like this. The fourth game was kind of set up for failure, you know, and that's kind of the problem. So how do you follow that game up? That's the question. And well, the answer was, and yeah, I'm not using Trickster, am I? With Trickster, this is easy. But without Trickster, oh, he hit me twice, didn't he? Jesus. There we go. God, I need to kind of concentrate here, because this guy's a bit of a pain. And I dodged in the wrong direction because I didn't get Trickster. Trickster's really what you want here. That's kind of the ideal power you want for this. But, oh, he does 2 hits there. I keep forgetting that he does 2 hits. But yeah, you thought you could get me there, did you? I don't think so, buddy. But, yeah. Like, so, then you have Devil May Cry 5, and Devil May Cry 5 to me was like watching The Undertaker wrestle Goldberg in Saudi Arabia. Like, if you remember that match, then you know exactly what I'm talking about, and if you don't know wrestling, well, I'll just describe it to you perfectly. It's basically, like, Dante in Devil May Cry, and Virgil as well, like in Devil May Cry 5, they feel like they don't belong, you know? They feel like they're legends, they've already been established in their previous games, but the games don't really focus on them anymore, but they're still there because the fans want them there, but, you know, like, and, like, it's not really the fact that those characters suck now, that's not the problem. It's more the case of that Itsuno's trying to push Nero as, like, the protagonist, and Dante and Virgil are just kind of, like, sidelined, and because of it, like, they are treated like Goldberg and Undertaker, and it's just like, really? So, and the game kind of pushes for this, like, this kind of, like, whole idea of, like, oh yeah, like, Dante and Virgil are long past their prime, you know, Dante is just fed up of trying to be, like, this cool, bad motherfucker, and he just wants to just retire and just like chill. But and Virgil, well, he's just kind of like, I don't like what they did with Virgil in Devil May Cry 5. I think Devil May Cry 5's biggest problem was the narrative. One of the things I love about this game's narrative is, as you can see here, Dante is a sarcastic motherfucker. Like, he's angry. He's legit angry and pissed off, and he expresses it with sarcasm, and I love that. And this is the only time you ever see Dante like that. Like, you don't see Dante like that in, like, the rest of the series, because he's already surpassed his adversaries, and now he's just kind of there because, you know, he's Dante. Of course he has to be there, because if he's not there, then like people are going to complain, and I don't blame them, because I'm one of those people that would complain, because Dante is Devil May Cry. Without him, there is no Devil May Cry. You know, you can't just replace Dante with someone else, especially when his moveset's so fun to use. Like, I never got the hang of Nero's moveset at all. I never did, and Dante's is just so good. I just love using his moves. I just do. But yeah, like, I just don't think that Devil May Cry, like, I just don't feel that the series is going to be the same as it once was, and I just don't see where they're going to go in the future with the series because of how they've written it in Devil May Cry 5. But Devil May Cry 5 had a lot of things that bothered me, like how they changed Dante's moveset to like make it so that you have to enter like you have input complexity now, which wasn't an issue in Devil May Cry until Devil May Cry 5, where now they added an extra move to compensate for the fact that they added new moves, but the new moves aren't any good. The new moves are shit. New moves are absolute garbage. And yeah, I'm just gonna load the sound here because I feel that it's a bit loud, isn't it? And yeah, it's a huge problem. So because of that, we basically have to deal with the fact that like Dante's moveset has completely changed. So now if you want to use drive, you have to do like a Street Fighter combo to do it, or like you want to use like prop, well, it's not even on his moveset anymore. It's actually part of a finisher of a combo that you can input with like the triangle combo cancels, and like it's just like I just don't like how they've changed it at all. And it's the little things, but also the fact that most of the game you don't even play as Dante, you play as Nero and V, and it's just not as fun. I just don't really like playing as those characters as much. But there's more to it than just that, obviously. Like, Devil May Cry as a series, let's put it this way, guys. This series, it's just not... It really isn't, like, consistent at all in quality. Like, it's really not. But... oh, great. Loading. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's entirely bad. It just means that it's... like, there's good Devil May Cry games and there's not so good Devil May Cry games. And, yeah, I feel that it's a bit of an issue when you consider the fact that like people have built, like, there's established standards for this series, and Devil May Cry 3 being like the pinnacle, like it's so hard to live up to. And when you have a game that is this good and you have to live up to that, it's really difficult. How do you do that, you know? How do you live up to a game like this? You can't. Like, I always do that. If you shoot those barrels, it will actually damage you. So don't ever do that. And yeah, he got up. I was trying to do the surfboard thing, but it didn't work. But yeah, like, that's kind of the thing, you know? I think that because of that, this series' days are numbered, because now, where do you go from here? Like, they're writing Dante out of the story, and it's going to be all Nero. And at the same time, you got to remember, this was a 2000s game franchise. This franchise was born in the 2000s, and really, it will probably end up dying Like, well, it's surprising I didn't die in the 2000s. Like, because, like, it's so strange and surreal that Devil May Cry came back. Like, it really is. Like, it's something that I never expected, because you wouldn't think it would return. You'd think, oh, Devil May Cry, like, that's just a product of the time, that's just the 2000s game, but it returned. And it's kind of weird how it did. But the one thing I do not want to see is Devil May Cry being turned into, like, a game that's more modern. I really don't want them to turn it into that. And I like Dante being there, but at the same time, like, when I saw Dante in, like, Devil May Cry, oh, you can do that as well. That's one other thing I love about this game, like, interacting with the environments, it just feels so seamless. Like, you just press a button right next to it and then you just do this. Like, it's just, like, they really thought of everything on how to make the levels fun and interactive. And how it's all built around this gameplay, it's all built around combat. That's what I love about this game. Everything in this game is designed around this game. Every aspect, from the music, the story, the levels, like, they're all designed around the stylish combat. They're all built for purpose. And I really like that. And yeah, these are the sloth enemies. You've got to really move, because the moment that you go there, they are going to hit you, and yeah. Sloth enemies are kind of nasty if you're not ready for them. Oh, that round was still there, he didn't get hit by me. There we go. But yeah, like, that's the thing. I mean, I just feel that they really need to... They really need to be careful where they take the series now, if they even bother. Like, this series might actually be dead. Like, the way they've done the series now, it just feels like there's no future for it, you know? But that's just from what I see. I just feel that they've written themselves into a problem. But I don't think Itsuno has. I think Itsuno just wants to basically make Nero the main dude, and I don't like that, and people are accepting it now. It's just like, you wanted this to happen. Like, this isn't something that I wanted to happen, this is something Itsuno wanted, and he clearly wanted it. But I didn't want it. But yeah, his idea of what Devil May Cry is not the same as what my idea is, I guess. But like, the thing is, he made this game what it was, and you can't deny that he's a talented dude, but I just feel that he's kind of lost his way in certain aspects. And that's kind of the one downside to Itsuno. Like, I just think times have changed, I guess. And because of that, like, is it really worth, like, sticking with a franchise where I'm not really liking the direction it's going in? And this kind of ties in with the whole theme of this entire video, which is, when should you drop a franchise? Because it's very difficult to tell. Like, you've got to balance the whole, like, for example, if you have, like, one bad game in a franchise, it's like, maybe the next game will be better, you know, or something like that. You've got to give the next game in the franchise a chance, you know what I mean? And yeah, that's important. But at the same time, it's like, do you really need to, like, give the game, like, all the chances in the world? Like, I mean, it's not like the game owes you, it's not like you owe the game its play, you know what I mean? You can do whatever you want, and that's the thing, you know? Then you've got, like, the case of, like, reviewers, and that makes things even more complicated, because if you review video games, surely you should be playing it? Or should you? Should you just move on and expect everybody else to move on with you? But they don't. But you're a reviewer, you've got a duty to make reviews, so, you know, like, surely you've got to keep going for all of the viewers, and it's a bit of a dilemma, is that. But, yeah, like, I feel that there's people who, and this is the thing, I've noticed this as well, like, generally speaking, like, most people that I've noticed, they don't tend to drop video games. Ever. Like, if they play a bad video game, they want to be in on it when the new game drops. So, for most people, it's a simple situation. It's a simple case of like, oh yeah, like I'm not playing this game, and then oh, new game come out, I'm gonna play it right away. And yeah, like people are like that, and yeah, because of that, it's kind of like. Sorry, I'm just watching this cutscene. It's pretty funny. This cutscene's a classic. Everything about it. But yeah, like that's kind of the silly thing about how a lot of people are. Like a lot of people, they will just basically like. Yeah, I'm basically just trying to get rid of like the ice on his 3 heads. So I can do this, and then that cuts up there. So yeah, we can like do this. And yeah, there we go. I mean, obviously, like, yeah, it's a lot easier when you're like using like the switch in the air, because you can hit them in the air, and you've got like 3 heads, so you can like triple the damage with aerial raid. It's really stupidly strong, really. But yeah, obviously they're gonna get them back. And, yeah. But as I say, the that's kind of the thing. Like people don't tend to like they don't want to like stop. They never do. Like they'll just keep going, just to be in with the in crowd. So for most people, like they'll just do it anyway. They might say, I'm never playing another one of these games again, and they always come back. But, like, for someone like me, it's like, there's franchises that I've completely stopped. Like, Final Fantasy, for example, is an example of a franchise that I just don't play anymore, you know? And I dropped it. And do I feel like I've missed anything by dropping it? Not really. Like, I just feel that, you know, people still play it, and people still care, and I still, for the life of me, don't understand why, but they do. And yeah, like you end up getting caught with all the news and stuff of it, and you keep hearing of it like it's still going, and you're just like, is this really still going? Like, it's shit. Like, why would anyone still care at this point? And like, but that's the thing, you've just chosen not to bother interacting with it. But with the internet being the way it is now, it's kind of like almost like it's illegal to like drop a franchise, because everybody brings it up, and if you drop a franchise, you'll just get reminded of like, you'll just get reminded of what once was, you know what I mean? Not gonna get a good score on this one, I can tell you that right now. Right, yeah. Let's just try not to die. Right then, yeah, there we go. But I think the best thing to do, really, in retrospect, especially when you find this guy on like Dante Must Die difficulty, is you want to do this move, because this move will like it's the best move to use against him. But like I feel that
I'm not even sure myself.
like, am I really missing out by skipping games in the franchise or just quitting? Like, should I go back or should I not? Like, these are questions I ask myself all the time. Like, you know, people will tell me that Final Fantasy 16 is amazing and you should play it, but do I trust those people? Absolutely fucking not, because they have a completely different experience to me, and they still want to stick with the franchise. So anyone who wants to stick with the franchise, I don't trust them, because they're still in a situation where they're still hooked. And I don't know, like, it's kind of a weird situation where, like, should you give something another chance? Should you give things a chance to improve? Or should you just move on? And it's a dilemma. Because for the longest time, video games have always done this, by the way, where like they do they ever change? They never change the way you want them to, and like, if things go a certain direction, they're probably going to stay a certain direction. Like, I mean, sometimes they'll see a problem, and when they see a problem, they don't really address the problem. They just assume that, like, they assume something else is a problem, you know? Like, they'll see a problem, but not the problem. Like, they'll think, oh, right, it's not selling because this, that, and the other. But they won't listen to what the fans are saying and what the fans' criticism is, unless it's, like, the majority of fans, you know? But, like, specific people like myself, they won't listen, you know? Like, they won't give a shit what people like me have to say. And, yeah, because of that, you have situations where games just, like, end up never improving. And sometimes, as I say, listening to the fans isn't really the best way to go, because the fans are stupid as well, and they'll listen to the dumb people, but not the smart people. So, yeah, that's not good. But, ultimately, that's kind of how things go, really, isn't it? That's kind of how things are. When you're playing a game a series that you're sick of, it's like, part of you wants to just, like, it's such a complicated thing because you want to still love this franchise. Part of you still loves this franchise, but at the same time, part of you doesn't. It's like, you don't want more of it, but you still love the games you played. Or in some cases, you completely move on. And this is kind of the interesting thing, really, because, like, there's games where I've moved on where I've actually felt less of the games that I played than what I felt back in the day, like Final Fantasy. But then you have games like Pokemon, where, yeah, even though Pokemon has its flaws, I don't necessarily feel any less of the games, because for the time, like, it was a different time. And I kind of understood that time. And at the same time, like, I feel that with Pokemon, like, its issues, even though I bring them up, it somehow doesn't ruin the experience as much as I expected. And I think it's because it just seems to work well with Pokemon, unlike other RPGs, but I don't know why. But I still think that it's an issue that they should address in the Pokemon games, because I feel that the Pokemon games could be better. And they should be better. But Pokemon is a series that I dropped, and I just don't play Pokemon anymore, and I haven't played Pokemon since, like, the last Pokemon game I played was Pokemon X, but I only played that just simply because it came with my Nintendo 2DS. And, like, I had, like, before that, I played Pokemon, like, Soul Silver, and that's when I really quit, like, playing, like, that's when I really quit with, like, the series. But I ended up playing X just simply because I managed to get it with my 2DS, and yeah, I was like, yep, nothing to stick around here, folks. No reason to stick around here, because it's just, like, the series had just, hang on, yeah, there we go. The series had just had it at that point, I feel, and yeah. These hallways are some of the best places to fight, in my opinion. Like, they really are. I really like fighting in these hallways because I just, like, they're just so tight and you can see where everybody is, for the most part. And it's really cool that you can do that, and yeah. But, as I say, like, I really don't think that there was any reason for me to go back to Pokemon, because I just know that it's just going to be the same shit and it's never going to change. You know? It's never going to change and they're never going to improve, so what's the point, you know? But with Devil May Cry, it's kind of a weird thing because, like, Devil May Cry 5, I don't even know what to think. Like, it's just gone in a weird, it's just, I don't know, like, I don't really like the direction, but I can't see too much logical issue in it. I just don't like what they've done with it. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that I just love this game so much, you know? And I just feel that they they're riding too much on this game. I think that's kind of what they've been doing for a long time. With, like, well, what Itsuno's been doing for a long time. And yeah, because of that, like, it's just, I feel that the series could be so much more than it is, but at the same time, it can never reach this level, you know? Like, I feel that, well, actually I don't know if the series can be more than it is, but that's the thing, like, do I know if it could be more than it is? Actually, I don't really know, but one thing I do know is that, you know, Devil May Cry 3 is not a perfect game, it has its problems. I mean, if we're talking pure logic, could we make a better Devil May Cry game? Yes, but if we're talking, like, in terms of actual, like, if we're talking realistically, like, and not technically, no, you just can't. Just simply because of what this game was, what this game represents, and just what this game is, you know? Because of how well crafted this game was and how focused it was, and you've got to bear in mind, this story has already happened. This game has already happened. It already exists. It's already a thing. You know, you can't really just bring it back. You know what I mean? Because if you bring it back, you might as well just be playing the same game again. You know, and that's kind of the thing. Like, you just replaying the same game, and that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just playing this game again. You know, and in a way, there's nothing wrong with playing games that you love. In fact, you should play games that you love if you have the time. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? It's all about time, isn't it? People just don't have the time anymore to replay games because this. And this is kind of another topic in a way, and just how I feel this myself as well. But I feel that a lot of people are like this, where we feel that we are under pressure to kind of like get through as many games as possible, to get through our backlog and everything else. But sometimes all we want is just the simple pleasures of just going back to old games and replaying them. Because it's fun, you know? It's still fun to do this, and we miss it, clearly. So why don't we do it, you know what I mean? And that's the thing, but we don't do it. We torture ourselves over the fact that we just want to we want to play, like, we want to play more games. We want to broaden our horizons, but sometimes you just want to experience more of what you played back in the day. And it's kind of like trying to balance all that. And I feel that I'm at that point where I just want to play the games I love. That's kind of where I'm at right now, you know? I don't want to play like games that are like new all the time. I want to play something different sometimes, but sometimes I just want more of the same, you know? And that's the problem. I knew that hammer was going to have me. This guy's just perched up there, and I'm like, I don't really like the fact that you're perched up there. But I think that, like, we need to have these games, like, that we love every now and again, just to remind us of what once was. And playing this right now, I am being reminded. Like, it's amazing how we can have a 3D beam-up like this. And I've played quite a lot of different 3D beam-ups, and it's just that every time I play this, it just feels so good to play. And it kind of speaks to why this game gets so much praise to begin with. You know? But obviously, like, the thing about it is, and this is the silly thing, you'd expect gaming to be better now. You'd expect there to be a better game than this by now. Like, this game was released in 2005, and it's nearly, like, it's 19 years old, nearly. or it's nearly 20 years old as this game, people. You know, it's getting there. I mean, this game was released in 2005, and there's still not a game that's better than it. That's how bad gaming is now, you know? We still don't have a game that's better than Devil May Cry 3, you know? I mean, it says a lot about how good the game is, but, like, man, like, it's kind of crazy how this is still the pinnacle of 3D beam-ups today. And it's such a simple game. That's the silly thing. Like, it's so simple. And it's like, how do you how do you beat it? That's a good question. Like, how do you beat a game like this with this formula? I don't think you're gonna beat it the same way. Like, and that's the thing. You've seen Soulsborne games and all that lot that have kind of like taken over, and it's just like, I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that how do you beat Devil May Cry 3? How do you beat this formula? You know, and to all those people that say Ninja Gaiden or whatever the hell, like, how do you beat that? You know? How do you beat the best? I don't think people know, and that's the problem, you know? It's just like, that's the tricky thing, that's the dilemma that people are having. And I feel that people are just, like, it's always going to be a problem no matter what happens. Like, you just can't beat these games. They're just that good. And yeah, like, you can emulate the games, you can try and imitate them. I mean, that's kind of what Bayonetta did. It just basically said, oh, Devil May Cry 3 exists, let's just try and do what Devil May Cry 3 does, but in our own sort of way, and that's kind of what it is. It took the foundations of, like, Devil May Cry 3 and just kind of, like, did its own thing based on that. And when I say foundations, I'm not talking about everything, I'm talking about, like, it's complicated, but, like, the focus. Like, the focus on comboing is what Devil May Cry 3 is all about. And, like the focus on, like, trying to build up these crazy combos and having, like, free-flowing combat, that's kind of what I mean by the foundation. Like, they clearly took inspiration from this. I mean, you could argue, well, Kamiya invented it, but let's be honest here, when Kamiya made Devil May Cry, it was primitive as fuck. Like, I don't think Kamiya can design the fucking game if it's fucking, like, if it was, like, I don't think he could design a game to save his life. Like, I think he's, I don't think he's as good as a developer as people make him out to be. But, yeah, like, even he definitely took inspiration from Itsuno. And rightfully so, because Itsuno, say what you like about him and his false microtransactions, but, you know, like, he is an intelligent guy when it comes to game development. I just think that he just sucks Capcom's dick too much, and yeah, I'm not a fan of that fact. Because, you know, like, I'm anti-corporate, and he seems to be a bit of a, I don't know, he seems to be sucking up to the man, you know, he's sucking up to the company, probably because they pay him, you know. He knows where his money comes from and he doesn't bite the hand that feeds him. That's kind of what it's all about. But the thing is, he doesn't need to bring up the whole microtransactions thing at all. He did. Almost like he was some sort of spokesman. So it was basically just like... He was basically just like shilling for Capcom. Shilling for the company he works for. And defending them. And it's just like, you know, no one's buying it, dude. We can clearly see your fucking bias from a fucking mile away, you know? So yeah, I have my issues with Itsuno, I do. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to discredit him as a game developer. He's very good at what he does. I just wish that he would not say these things, because I don't want people saying these things, because I don't want bullshit justifications for microtransactions. They shouldn't be tolerated at all, you know? And that's the problem, you know? And yeah, let's do some areas. Plus this is a little bit annoying to deal with. And plus this is one of those arenas where you have like free camera movement, and those are the worst parts of this game. Particularly when you play on the higher difficulties, that's when you'll start to know just how annoying the camera can be in this game. Like, it's tolerable on the lower difficulties, but on the higher difficulties, it's an absolute pain in the ass, man. Like, it really is. But it's not so bad in, like, this difficulty. This difficulty is, like... I mean, in the original Devil May Cry, they made the normal difficulty extremely difficult. But this is, like, special edition, so normal difficulty isn't as hard, so, yeah. So you can actually beat these bosses a lot easier, and, yeah. But... yeah, as I say, like, And because I have all the health upgrades, it's definitely easier as well. If I didn't, this would actually be more challenging. I'd probably have died by now. But yeah, given the fact that I'm recording, I'm not going to do anything challenging right now. But yeah, that's the thing. It's such a complicated thing. Like, it really is. When do you draw the line? When do you say enough is enough? Because I can't figure that out. Even I can't figure out the answer. Like, and it's also like, when do you decide whether or not you should review a game, or just say, no, I'm not going to buy the game? And like, because that's the thing. It's just like, if you want to review a bad game, unless for some reason you haven't upset, unless like the publisher's on good terms with you, in which case you're gonna lose the publishers. You're gonna like, lose like the publishers. You're gonna fall out with the publisher afterwards. But it's just like, you have to buy the game yourself. So that means you're technically buying the product that you're trashing on, and yeah, like, and if you get the product, well, yeah, I guess you can trash it to some degree as long as it's everybody else agrees with you. But if you trash on too many games, then you get blacklisted, and yeah, that's a problem. So yeah, it's gotta be something special, like something that means something if you're gonna review a game, like, and you're getting like review codes. Not that it matters to me, because like all of the games I've reviewed are games that I've bought. So, you know, it's like, I don't really get review copies, people. I mean, I just don't, like, so for me, I have to buy the game in order to review it. So because of that, I'm limited with what I can actually do. So you've got to bear that in mind. Like, it's like, I have more limits than you would think. And that's why I review the games I do, which are older games, because I have access to them. So that's the thing, but at the same time, it's just like, you know, people aren't going to want to watch reviews of like old games because they've already played them, and you know, if they aren't already playing them, they're probably not interested in them anyways. So really, it's kind of a waste of time reviewing games. But in a way, it's kind of like, should I just stop playing a series and not even bother criticizing them? And you know, I reviewed Valkyrie Elysium, and well, do I regret reviewing Valkyrie Elysium? Well, a little bit, yeah. I mean, in a way, I kind of did it just simply so I could see, like, I could say my piece, and I felt that that was kind of important, but I felt that I did that on the trailer, but I felt that I had to prove something to people, and prove that I was right all along. And, yeah, that's kind of why I did it, but I do regret it. Like, I wanted to see, I wanted to be there when the series died. I wanted to see it die with my own eyes, and I did. And that's the reason why I did it. But yeah, it's such a shame though, man. It really is, because that's a series that I absolutely like adore, and to see what they did with Elysium just pissed me off so much. And yeah, like in a way, I do regret it though, because like I just paid for a shit game, knowing that I paid for a shit game. And that's the problem when you're not gifted games, like for review copies and that. Well, if I got a review copy, it would have saved me money. And yeah, like that's one of those games that I really would have benefited from getting a review copy for. But given the fact that I trash on Square Enix 24/7, there's no chance I would get a review copy. Like, no chance, because Square Enix do not like me. Me and Square Enix are enemies, and they know it. You know, unfortunately, that's how it is. If you make an enemy of the company, then you don't get the free games. I think that's why they should just stop with review codes in general. Like, just stop with that. And like, but that's the thing, they're not really review codes, they're influencer codes, really. But they call them review codes, which is bullshit. Like, it really is bullshit that they call them review codes, because they're not. And that's kind of annoying, to be honest. Like, it really is. Like, I hate that fact. I hate that they're called review codes, but so many people that aren't reviewers get them just simply because they have a lot of influence. And it's just like, the whole thing is just fucking, like, the whole thing with review codes, it's just, like, I know there are legit people who get them, but a lot of it is just so, like, corrupt. How they clearly, like, will pick and choose who gets them and who doesn't. you know, and it all based on a lot of things like their own biases and stuff. And yeah, that's the thing, you know. So because of that, you just like it's not really reliable, and even people that, you know, should get them, sometimes they don't get them either, and it's just like, it's ridiculous. The whole thing needs to be scrapped. But then again, you won't have reviewers, but at the same time, the thing about it is, and this is the silly thing, like, if people wait for a sale, this won't be an issue. Like, and that's the silly thing, like, why can't people just wait for a sale? You know? Why is it so hard for people to do that? Like, people have to buy it now, and that's the problem. That's another problem. That's why people, like reviewers like myself, who can't afford to buy these games all the time day one, never, like, get what, like, we're always stuck with this same problem, you know? And it's always going to be a problem, you know? But that's why people aren't going to bother watching us, because we don't really bring anything to the table that people really want or really need. You know, I'm just being honest here, people. You know, it's the truth. Nobody needs my content because I review games that nobody wants to play, and there's so many reviewers like that you know, there's just too many of us, I feel, and that's one of the reasons why my channel is in the situation that it is, and why it's not really. Well, I mean, it's not really a big channel, is it? Because there's no demand. It's that simple. Like, there's no demand for what I do. And because of that, you know, you're going to have people that are watching me just simply because they like me, I guess. But not because I actually offer them something of value. That's something I've always had to, like, deal with. Like that because it's the reality that I've had to, like, deal with, because it's a bit of a harsh reality, really, that you're not really offering anything of value to people. And it's one of the learning curves I've had to go through, you know? Because that's what I wanted to do originally. I wanted to deliver value to my viewers, and I realized that I'm not. You know? And it's like, that's the harsh reality. And when in that regard, really, for me, like, when you should stop playing a video game, like, given that fact, I should just stop playing them more. I just stop having fun and just drop a series. But the thing is that, as I say, people don't. You know? Like, as I say, people will keep playing, like, the games just simply because they're just mindlessly hyped. And yeah, then you'll have, like, as I say, people like me, we don't really know what, like, it's like, oh, that's what we need, yeah. Like, we don't really want to keep doing this. But it's like that obligation to keep going. And it's really weird. Like, it's such a weird thing how this is a thing, but it is, you know? It is a thing. And that's just kind of reality. That's how things are. You know? I feel that we've gone the wrong way, haven't we? Yeah, we've got to go this way, haven't we? Oh, actually no. Because it's like this windy staircase, and I'm getting confused by it. I don't remember this game as well as I'd like to think I remember it. But, yeah. I need to... I think it's here. This might be it. Yep, this is it. But... yeah, like... that's kind of the thing, but then again, you know, if I do reviews and people care about them, maybe it's still worth it, or is it? Like, if I know that the game's going to be terrible before I even start doing the review, it's just like, it's really worth bothering. Well, other people aren't going to know, you know? So, oh, I thought I could get them with that, but yeah. Apparently not. But yeah. As I say. Oh, are they still around? No. But yeah, that's kind of thing. It's a shame that things are like that with reviews, and that's kind of my dilemma because of it. It's just like, I want to keep doing reviews, but I don't feel that there's a reason to do reviews, you know? And it's just like, I'm just doing them for the sake of doing them at this point. And, like, I don't know, like, I'm just so stuck in my ways and just so stubborn. And a lot of the time I just wonder, why am I doing this to myself? Why do I put myself through this? Like, who's actually benefiting from this, you know? Because I know it ain't me, you know? I mean, sure, I'm getting to do what I like doing, but at the same time, it's like, it's more like, that would be fine if it wasn't for the, just how time-consuming it is, you know? That's the thing, it's the time-consuming aspect of it that's a pain in the ass, and it's just like, people aren't interested in it after all that. It's just like, you feel like you just wasted your time, and yeah, that's a problem, you know? I don't like to feel that. I knew that guy was going to do that, and I was just like, yeah, I wanted to turn and hit him. And yeah, I completely fucked that up, didn't I? But, as I say, you know, it's just the problem. And it all ties in with the whole topic, really, because this is the problem that I have with a lot of games, you know? But, yeah, like, if it wasn't, like, I just don't know anymore. And that's the thing, I don't know how to answer this question. But I'd say if you're not a reviewer, then yeah, you should probably just stop. You know, but if you're a reviewer, then it's not really that simple, is it? But that's the thing, like, that just then segues into the next argument of like, is it worth being a reviewer anymore? You know? Is there any point in reviewing games in fucking, like, 2024? You know, I mean, you could argue, well, if you paid for it, yeah, but, you know, if you're not paid for it, is it worth doing, you know? And is it worth doing it for old games? And honestly, I can't find a reason to do that. If people can give me, like, an argument, I'd be happy because, well, they feel that I have some purpose here, you know? I'd love for people to actually answer that question because I can't find the answer myself, you know? Because that's another topic, really. Is there a reason to have game reviews anymore? Do they actually matter? Are game reviews pointless now? You know? Do people actually consume game reviews anymore? And I know people always consume like the IGN ones, but they just consume them just simply so that they can match up the score that IGN said to like what they want, just so that they can like brag that their favourite game got a high score or whatever the hell. That's the only reason why, or just complain if it got a low score, you know? That's the only reason why people watch those. And because they're, you know, they're a big site, people are just going to consume what they do anyways, regardless, just simply because they're a big site. So they've got tons of marketing and advertisement, and they're in your face, so it's the first port of call that people are going to go to, which is kind of sad because, well, journalists, as we all know today, are just, yeah, the state of journalism now is pretty pathetic, really. And yeah, because of that, it's just like these sites are just a joke. But yeah, and we're I remember this room. It's the elevator room where there's like a secret mission you can do here, but I've already done it. But yeah, I just think that it's such a shame that's how reviewing has become. It's just like, I just want answers. In a way, this is kind of me asking the viewer the question, really, because I don't have the answer to this. I really don't. You know? It's such a complicated situation, you know? When is the right time to just drop, like, a franchise? When is the right time to just drop a game, even, you know? Apparently that, like, even though the tornado hit, it wasn't fast enough, apparently. The range wasn't that good either, damn. I was expecting more range than that. Oh. But, yeah. Hang on, is there a healing thing back here? I think there is. Oh no, there isn't. My bad. But, yeah. I'm trying to think, is there something over here that... I know you can stand on a pillar and, like, get tons of... Like, there's a few secrets that they threw in this game. And, yeah, I don't think there is here. We're not high enough on the tower yet to get the secrets. But this is just before the Acme and Rudra fight, which is these guys. We're about to fight them next. But, yeah. That's kind of the thing, really, isn't it? I've always liked this beginning part of Devil May Cry 3 a lot. Like, just the beginning part is just so fun to go through. I don't know why, it just is. I mean, I'm on, like, this mission already, and the game goes by pretty quickly, surprisingly. But, like, you wouldn't think it does because of how hard it is. Like, but because, if you're playing on the lower difficulties, the game, you can get through the game pretty quick. You know? Like, don't let this deceive you guys. This is a tough game. The only reason why I'm having an easy time is because I have, like, all the upgrades and everything, so, yeah.
Enough already! How long are you two gonna keep carrying on like this? In case you didn't get the hint, I'll spell it out. You're a guest. Wants to
So, as I say, leave your thoughts in the comments on what your take is on when you should play a franchise. And I know that a lot of people are just going to say, well, you should stop it when you're not having fun. I know people are going to say that, but for reviewers, that's like a different kettle of fish. Like, that's the complicated thing. Like, what should reviewers do? Like, but then again, you've got the same thing where it's just like, you know, it's like, but that's the dilemma as well. You still want to do it because you still love reviewing and you still want to bring up the critiques, but you can't because you haven't played the game. It's such an annoying situation that I find myself in so many times. It's just like, you know, should you have to support these games to have a voice? Or should you just be able to say that the game is shit without having played it? Because I feel that at this point, I legit feel that at this point that you can say a game is shit without having played it. Just simply knowing just by simply like watching someone else play it, you can just tell. Like, and like just seeing how, like, if you know what they've done in the last game and if they haven't fixed the specific issue that it had, then you just know that it's not, like, it's a problem, you know what I mean? And that's the thing, isn't it, you know? So, yeah. Oh shit, I have the wrong right now. If I can really that easy to fight, and, yeah, Ruger's there, I need to hit him now. There we go. But these guys like to block a lot, and that's the difficult part about fighting them. But you can use that move, and that move works seemingly well. God, I couldn't see them. But, yeah, as I say, funnily enough, fighting them with their own weapons seems to work best. I think fighting them with Trickster definitely is more easier. This is a fact that if you have, like, level 3 Trickster, it's a lot easier to fight them with that than it is with Soulmaster, but usually you won't have level 3 Trickster by this point, so it's going to be a problem. And yeah, this complicated fight is this, no matter what difficult, just simply because of, like, there's two of them, and like it's literally if you played Dark Souls and you saw Ornstein and Schmo, this is where it's based on. It was based on this fight, you know? As far as I'm concerned, because it's a blatant rip-off. Like, where, like, if you kill one of them, the other one gets super strong, so you have to, like, split your attack. Yeah, it's not an easy fight. But it's a pretty fun one, nonetheless. It's just a challenge that you have to overcome. But, yeah. As I say, I'm just weakening him, getting some near death. Right. As I say, we know what's going to happen. Like some really powerful move. But yeah, I just want to get this fight over with now. I'm just trying to get this over with. There we go. And this is what happens, you see, he'll get super strong now. And he'll get like the second one. So, yeah. But we've weakened him enough to the point that it shouldn't be a problem. There we go. But, yeah, like, that's the dilemma that I will always have. And, as I say, it's worked for Final Fantasy and it's worked for Pokemon. But, at the same time, you can't, like, ditch too many franchises, or can you? You know? Then you have the whole case of, like, is it worth ditching modern gaming altogether? You know? That's another question to ask, because, like, is there any point in continuing all the bullshit that goes on with modern gaming?
But on one condition.
That's a good question. Like, is it worth the hassle?
No talking.
Because, let's be real here, modern gaming sucks. And, you know, like, dealing with all the bullshit, like, you know, I suppose it just depends on, like if something shows up and it's interesting, and you can get hold of it easy enough, and it's like, it works on your machine, and you have the money, then yeah, but, like, buying games just for the sake of buying games, or just due to series loyalty, I'm not so sure anymore. Like, I'm not so sure that you should do that. I feel that you should just buy a game just simply because you're interested. It's like, I didn't buy Star Ocean the Second Story R, for example. Like, I bought Star Ocean The Divine Force, but not Second Story R. And the reason why was simple. It's because, like, I don't want to buy a remake of a game I already played. You know? I already played Star Ocean The Second Story R. So, I don't want to play more of that. I don't want to play more of that right now. I'm not in the mood for it, and that's why I haven't bought the game. Even though I'm a huge Star Ocean fan, I haven't bought Second Story R. I just don't see the point. So I didn't. And what have I missed? Well, not really much. I mean, you could say that I've missed some clout because I could have covered the game on my channel and, you know, done a review of it, which I don't see the point of doing because it's going to be basically the same thing as Star Ocean: The Second Story, except from addressing the changes, and, you know, like, I just didn't see the point, you know? I have an entire comparison article which covers, like, I actually covered it in the comparison article because I have played the demo of it, and that was enough for me to essentially cover the changes. Really. So, yeah. And my thoughts on the demo pretty much sum the whole thing up. But ultimately, it's like, it's not necessarily a bad game, it's just that I'm not in the mood right now because I not long ago replayed Star Ocean 2 just before the remake released. So, you know, it's like people have this obligation to buy these games just simply because they're part of a fandom, and it's just like, or just simply because they're hyped at the time. That's kind of what it is, and it's just like, I just don't get this kind of consumerism. And to be honest, I'm kind of sick and tired of it. because it means that people will just buy anything without question. Like, ultimately, this is the biggest problem with the industry. The biggest problem with gaming in the industry is that the consumer has zero patience. They want everything now. They want new things constantly. They want to keep up with the trends and constantly follow the trends. It's like, why? What do you get out of this? What's the point? But they always do it, and every time I see people do this, especially if they're constantly playing like the latest games, anyone who does that, I can't help but feel that there's something disingenuous about them. Like, they're just doing it for the sake of, like, they're just doing it for the sake of it, like, for the sake of just, like, I've forgotten this puzzle now. That's going to be a pain in the ass. But yeah, they're just doing it for the sake of, like, saying that, oh, we played this game early, you know, we played this game, we're in on the trend, and it's just like, there's something disingenuous about that. Like, they're not playing it because they're a fan, they're just playing it just to say that we're cool because we're in with the cool crowd because we're playing the latest game. And I hate that. There's nothing worse than that. And there's so many people that I see on Twitter that are just like that, and it pisses me off. And it just makes me wonder, like, you know, are these guys real fans or they're just fucking posers, you know? And that's the thing. I'm not saying that people getting into a game for the first time is wrong, you know? If it's something you've always wanted to play, like, for example, the Chrono Cross Remaster, or like Baten Kaitos because it's never released over here, then yeah, I get it. But like, if it just happens to be one of those situations, but these people, like, a lot of people will have the opportunity to play these games, but don't, you know? And it's just like, they'll just wait until it gets re-released, and it's just like, you know, have you not considered, like, maybe, I don't know, playing the originals? You know what I mean? But yeah, sometimes you won't. You know, but that's the thing. But I feel that with some people, yeah, I get it. But I still feel that with a lot of people that is the case, you know? And that's the problem. You know, people, I feel like it's disingenuous. Yeah, it's not that, is it? You know? Like, I just think there's something disingenuous when you see the same people all the time playing the latest games and pretending to be fans, and it's like, no, you're just playing it just simply because it's new, and it's just hard to separate it. How do you just, like that's the thing, it's not wrong to do that, like I've said. If you've never played the series before and you've always been into it and this is your chance, I get it. But the thing is, and this is the thing, like, you know, it's so hard to tell the genuine people from the people that are just following the trends. There's always those people that follow the trends, and I hate it. I'm sick of it. And the thing is, YouTube encourages it, and it's so annoying, like. And these people are always the same. They'll only jump in on the conversation when it's trendy, and I hate those people with a passion. If you're one of those people, fuck you. But I'll never be able to prove it. You know, you guys are just like criminals that there's no evidence to prove that you're criminals. You know what I mean? Like, we don't know who you are. Well, I can actually name names. There's a few people that I do know that are like that. Some people I know on fucking Twitter are like that. But, yeah. I'm not going to call them out, though, but, you know, I think if they watch this, they'd know who they are. But, yeah, like, and I see it all the time, it's so annoying. Like, those people just annoy the fucking shit out of me, guys. They really do. It's just like, why are you only talking about this now? You know? It's like, for example, like when Star Ocean, like people weren't talking about Star Ocean 2 and now suddenly everyone's talking about Star Ocean 2 and it's just like, what the fuck? Like, why is everybody suddenly talking about this game? You know? I just don't get it. But, yeah, that's pretty much the situation. That is what it's like. That's what it's all about. So, yeah, you have shit like that, and it's like, that's the thing that I want to avoid the most. Being that guy, you know, who's just in it because they're in on the trend. I mean, as I say, I'm playing the Bat and Chaos Origins remaster because I played Bat and Chaos ages ago. Never got to play Origins because it never released over here. So yeah, now I'm playing it, you know, and that's the sort of thing. It's just like, so now it's just like I get to experience this game, but like a lot of people will probably, well, that's the thing. Back when it first launched, a lot of people were playing it. Now people aren't, and I've noticed that because they got into it during the Switch era. It's always the Switch. If a new Switch game comes out, everyone is on that. But because it's just released on PC, no one cares. Except me, apparently, because I actually wanted to play the game on PC, so it's just like, for me, it's a big deal. And it was kind of like, sort of a stealth release, like, for the most part. And the only time, the reason why I found out was because people bringing it up, like, in, like, the small communities, which is kind of interesting. Like, usually you'd see these releases mentioned all the time. But because it's PC, no one cares. Because it was already released on the Switch, it's old news. You know what I mean? People aren't bothered at that point because they only care if it's released on the Switch. You know? And that's kind of the thing, you see. Oh, great. Couldn't see that. This is one of the harder arenas to fight in, is this one. These guys also have Devil Trigger state as well. But yeah, that definitely makes things harder. But yeah, like I say. Yeah, get Dance Macabre on this guy. And yeah, you can do this. Get that S rank up. But unfortunately, got this motherfucker to deal with. And yeah, blow him up. And now we can just shoot everybody else. Yeah, that's what it's all about. I knew that was going to happen. I was just like, yeah. This is a really tough fight, this one, because of like the fact that, you know, I know you can do like a second one, and it's a really good like second hit to do. But yeah, this is like playing from like Dante Must Die difficulty, where everyone has this Devil Trigger state. You know, I wanted to knock him down and use the thing, but I couldn't. You know, that's what I wanted to do, but yeah, it's very hard to knock them down when they're in this state. But yeah, let's focus on these guys for now, I guess. Because they're just going to be a pain. This area is a pain in the ass because of all the Devil Trigger thing. This is, if you play on Dante Must Die mode, every enemy is like this. Every single enemy is like this. And yeah. There we go. Okay, you can do that. And of course he would sneak up behind me, wouldn't he? Yeah, he would. Like, eventually you can, like, deal with it, but yeah. There we go. This is a tough one, this one. But if we use that Macabre, we should be able to. We get the super combo there, and you can get S rank, as you can see there. And we did it. So yeah, we can get the Essence of Fighting. I don't know how you're supposed to get that, by the way. I never understood that one, but yeah. And now we have to get, well, we don't need to get the other one. There is another one, but we already have Artemis, and it just unlocks Artemis. That's all it gets, so we can basically just access the next area from here. But yeah, that's the thing. It's just like, I'm so sick of these influencers, man. I'm just so sick of them. We just live in a dark days where everybody's disingenuous and you can't trust anybody. That's kind of the way of the world now. And yeah, I don't know if there's a secret mission around here. Oh, I forget, to be honest. I know there's supposed to be like, well, I think we got it anyways, but yeah, there's like usually a shard here which you can get that increases your health. But I've already got it, so yeah. But as I say, I'm probably just gonna call after this one. I don't know. I might actually fight Virgil, I guess. The Virgil fight is always fun.
Well, well.
But yeah, like
Stronger.
that's kind of the thing.
Go to hell.
That's kind of how I feel
Point a gun at
about the whole thing.
your own kin.
And as I say, like with modern gaming being so shit,
Family I
you've got the whole problem of like all the microtransactions and all the bullshit that they can add to a series and ruin it from that. It's just like,
After all,
it's just it just annoys me where gaming is right now. It really does.
daughter.
But the stupid thing about it is that, and this is the stupid thing. Like, you know, like people say that, you know, I'm too cynical and too negative all the time. Oh, you're so negative. You're so negative about it. You need to be more positive and more optimistic. You know, you just do nothing but hate. All you do is hate on video games. You don't like video games. You just hate video games. I actually like video games. You know, get over it. And it's just like people like that piss me off as well because it's just like, you know, the fact that I'm actually bringing this shit up just shows how passionate I am about video games. It really does. So for people to come out and say that pisses me off. Like, it really does. It really does kind of upset me that people would say that because it completely disregarded my passion for gaming. And like, if it wasn't for the fact that I really love video games, I wouldn't be making all this content. I wouldn't be talking about video games. Yeah, I just wouldn't be playing them. But that's the thing, it's because I love video games that I'm talking about these issues. And that's the thing, that's the difference between someone who's a genuine fan of video games and someone who just wants to tell everybody what they want to hear and posers who just want to keep up with all the trends. You know? I feel like it's gotten worse ever since gaming's become super popular, because this is another point as well, like gaming nowadays is so popular. It didn't used to be as popular, at least people didn't used to talk about video games back in the 2000s. Like, they didn't really talk, unless it was like COD or whatever the fuck, I guess, but like, even then it was rare for people to bring up video games back then compared to what it is today. And like, but now it's like everyone's a gamer. So now you have like all these other people involved in it. It's gotten to the point now where it's just like, you know, I forgot, can you get on that pillar and get some, or is it later? I think it's later, but yeah, that's a cool view of the place, by the way. But yeah, that's the thing, like, I'm so sick and tired of like, yeah, this is a secret mission, isn't it? Oh no, not this mission. Did I actually do this one? I forget. I think ideally if you're going to do this, you gotta master like enemy hop, bouncing on the enemy heads. That's kind of what you're doing here. Pretty much. The game doesn't tell you how you're supposed to do it, but that's how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to bounce on their heads. And yeah, you've got to keep bouncing on their heads for like 20 seconds, or at least for enough time so you can like do airtime combos and stuff. So yeah, like, as I said, that's the secret mission. But yeah, I'll just do the Virgil fight and then we'll move on. As I say, because as I say, that's where the game gets like tricky after that. So yeah, we're just gonna do that. But ultimately, like, gaming is just in a dark place right now. I think, to be honest, a lot of things are in the dark place right now. It used to just be video games that were a problem. Now, a lot of things are a problem in the world at large, and it's just like, damn. Like, we're in dark times in the 2024, I feel. Like, more than ever with all this bullshit. Like, Jesus Christ. So it's just like, I don't know, I feel like with that and YouTube and a lot of other things, like, things were just so much better back in the day, man. The only thing that seems to have like had a bit of a renaissance in recent years is wrestling. It's the one thing that's kind of like come back, sort of. At least I find. Like, because it was really bad for a long time and then suddenly it made a little bit of a resurgence. But, like I say, like, video games, they're still in the same boat, and it is all because of publisher greed, and that's basically it, really. There's no, it's that simple. It's a simple situation, really. You know? There's no complications to it, you know what I mean? It's not a complicated situation, it's not a complicated matter. It's a simple problem. You know? It's pretty obvious as to why this is such a huge problem. You know, like, I've said it many times about how bad this industry is, and I think people already know. I shouldn't have to basically explain myself, but every now and again I find some idiot who I have to explain it to, and it infuriates me when I've just done entire videos on this, and I still have to explain this. It's just like, ugh. That's the thing, people just don't care. There's just so many idiots out there. So many fucking uneducated idiots that just don't understand the industry at this point. It's just like, it's crazy, but there'll always be those people, unfortunately. You know, you can't escape it, you know? You can't escape the fact that there's just too many idiots out there. But that's just how it is, you know? Unfortunately, everyone has their way of thinking, and, you know, not everybody sees it, not everybody sees the truth. And that's another thing, like, a lot of people are happy with modern gaming, that's fine, but the thing that these people don't seem to understand is that those who aren't happy with modern gaming, you know, they have a voice that is just as valid as yours, you know? And that's the thing, it's just like, and it's just like, people saying that people are negative or discrediting what people are saying because it's negativity, it's so annoying, and it's just like, they don't seem to understand why people are upset about video games, you know? And usually this is people who are into franchises more than like just gaming in general. It's more of a franchise thing. But yeah, this is where you can get like the hidden orbs, I think. Well, it's one of these.
Come on, Wimp.
Well, no, it isn't that one. Might be the other one. I don't know. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, I don't know. But either way, I'm just gonna progress anyway. You know? Might as well grab the orbs, even though we don't need them. They are part of the score at the end of the day, aren't they? So, you know, might as well. But yeah, like, I've kind of gotten a bit tired of the whole... I've just got tired of gaming in general, and just a lot of things in life in general. Like, just the state of the world, it's just so depressing. And you'd think that video games would be an escape from that? No, the video games are not an escape from that, and that's kind of sad, really. Like, the one thing that is used to escape from the world's problems is also a part of, like, an issue. And it's just like, everything's tied. Everything's just seemingly tied in. And it's just like, there's a huge problem right now that's just, you know, times are just really bad now. times are just really bad now compared to like how they used to be. I know this is my inner millennial talking and ranting and raving, and you're probably thinking, well, it's just, you know, nostalgia, and no, it's not. The times really are not great. Like, the 90s was amazing. Like, they were just amazing people. This day and age is ridiculous. This day and age is a mess. Like, everything's in a mess. You know? And, yeah, I mean, fucking... Look what's happening in America right now. You're having fucking president assassinations attempts. It's like, Jesus Christ, we're getting to this point, are we? And, yeah. I mean, it's just... The whole thing is just a mess right now, you know? And it shouldn't be a mess, but unfortunately it is. Unfortunately, we've got problems in this world. But, you know, we can't constantly think about all these problems. I mean, that's part of the reason why I play these old games, because I can't play new games because they're part of the problem. You know, they're part of the issue. But these old games, I can still escape into these old games. I can still find that, like, that fun factor that I have always had in playing these old games, you know? And that's the cool thing, you know? Whereas with new games, you just can't escape the underlying issue with those games because they're just part of it. It's all connected with just the state of the world and just the state of everything. Just how everything has just changed so much. It's just like, you just can't enjoy that anymore because it's just like, it's just become such a... Everything's just become an ingrained part of just like how society is now. It's just like, yeah, you know? Like now you have all the people that, you know, get easily offended and stuff like that, so we have to make sure that we don't offend people anymore and all this shit. And then corporations are getting more and more greedy and more complacent and more. It's just like, yep, it's all tied in. And like this, the entertainment business, like that's the thing. Gaming is an entertainment business at the end of the day, and you know, it used to be an isolated thing, but now it's on the same level as movies. You know. And it's just like everyone's in on it, so it's like now everyone is gonna like talk about gaming and everyone's gonna take it more seriously than they did before. Because, well, of course they are, you know, because it brings in big money, and the whole thing has just caused problems, really, you know. Like, it's just. Like, the whole thing is just really annoying, man. But, you know, like, you just can't change what's happened, and I just like to sit in the past and enjoy what once was. And that's kind of the reason why I've always focused on old games. It's just, you know... The sad thing is that, really, you know, I feel that if I liked modern gaming, I'd probably... I don't know. Maybe I'd have a much better channel because I could cover more newer games that more people would be interested in, I don't know. But then again, you know, someone's got to cover the old games, but I suppose there's plenty of people who do, you know, so yeah, but... I mean, at the end of the day, you know, it is what it is. I'm just going to keep doing what I do, I suppose, because, you know, I enjoy doing it, but I know that people aren't going to care, but that's the thing. The reason why I'm doing videos like this now is just simply because it's easy for me to do and I have fun doing it, whereas with reviews it's just too much work. Which wouldn't be a problem. I don't mind the workload. I don't mind doing the work as long as it's worth, as long as there's the payoff, you know? But I just feel like I've seen videos that I do, like these rant videos I do, bitching about the industry and bitching about certain games and upsetting people. You know, upsetting crowds of people. They get so much views and attention, and yet, and a lot of them are low effort. Like, the low effort videos get like so much attention that I do. And when I put effort into something, nobody cares. And that's kind of what's disheartening about it for me. It's just like, you know, I was hoping for like people would tune into like the good stuff, but they don't. And it's just like what people like of mine is not what, you know, I like. And, yeah. That's the problem, you know? I mean, obviously, you know, we all like different things at the end of the day, and that's another difficult thing I've had to come to terms with, you know? The whole idea of, like, other people not caring for certain videos I do, and, you know, me who not cares about a video that I do, and suddenly it does well, and it's just like, you know... I think when I did that World of Warcraft hate video and trashing on World of Warcraft, like, I didn't even really care to do that video. I only did it for the bum mappers, that was it. And it blew up in views. I'm like, you know, and people were shitting on me and trashing on me for my opinion. And it's just like, you know, I'd much rather get those views on the videos that I put effort into than a video like that. But that's not the case, is it? That's not how it works. People just want to hear me get angry, you know? Those videos do well. Videos where I'm, like, attracting hate get attention. But videos where I'm just like, you know... I know I keep bringing this up, people, but it's just true, and it never... Like, I did it in the Truth About YouTube video. I'm just basically saying what I've said before in that video. I know that, and I know I'm basically just constantly saying it, but it is something that is really pissing me off and starting to infuriate me more. Just how annoying it's getting, man. It's really starting to drive me insane because, you know, I'm just sick of it. I'm just sick and tired of, like, how YouTube is now. You know, I'm just tired of like the whole fiasco. You know, I just want to... I want to do the reviews, but I just feel that there's no point. But at the same time, this is another thing, that I feel that now my channel is just... I'm not pleasing myself with this content. I'm just going to say it, that's the thing. I'm not pleasing myself with this content I'm making. This content I'm making is trash, and I'm not happy about it. Like, I know I can do better than this. I know I can do better than just playing a video game and talking over it and just getting into all these rambles. I know I can make a presentable video, I know I can, but I just don't want to put in the work because I just know the payoff is not worth it, and it infuriates me because I just know I can do better than this. But that's the issue that I have. I'm just, you know, that's my problem, people. And it's the problem with this channel in a nutshell. This channel is not in a good place. It's really not, unfortunately. But I'm glad that people are still sticking around. I mean, I just hope people can understand why it's in the situation it's in, you know what I mean? Because it's in this situation for a reason. Yeah. I think a Devil Trigger Bomb was the right thing to do there, to be honest. So many enemies, and that's a little trick for people. If you get surrounded by enemies, do a Devil Trigger Bomb, because it'll just kill all the enemies around you. It's really handy, especially on Dante Must Die difficulty. But yeah. Now I think we can go back up and fight Virgil now. But yeah. That's the other way, innit? But yeah, that's the state of things, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing now, as I've said many times before. But yeah, like, it all ties in with it, and it's just like, yeah, I want to make... That's the thing, I want to keep doing the reviews, but I want to do what I love. And it's just like, all the not obstacles, but I just don't feel like there's any point. And it's just like, I don't know. Like, I've got this strong feeling of just wanting to do this stuff, of just wanting to do it, but at the same time, I'm just like, you know, this is such a hassle, and I just don't like the process of doing it, but at the same time, I like... well, let's put it this way, like, I like the process of... in certain aspects, but in certain things, there's always there's always the non-fun part of every video, you know? No matter what it is, there's fun parts of making a video, and then there's the non-fun parts of making a video, you know? And it's the non-fun parts that ultimately are the bits that you really don't want to do, and it's why it's so hard to, like, convince yourself to do content, you know what I mean? It's like, everything comes at a price at the end of the day, you know? And that's the thing, you see. But, as I say, at the end of the day, this is just me playing Devil May Cry 3 and just having more fun than I really should be having. You know, I'm not used to having fun with video games, you know, I'm not used to it. I'm used to just playing them and just being like, you know, just wanna move on with life, you know, I just wanna get this game over with, you know. I miss the times where you could just enjoy the moment of just playing a video game. You know? Like, it's funny how I could just go back to a game like this, but it's so difficult. And I feel like that's the case with a lot of games. When you're playing through a game the first time, it's just like, it can feel a bit of a slog. But when you're replaying a game you love, you just get sucked in so much easier. I feel that that's very true as well. Not entirely true, but to some degree it is. And yeah, we've got the big boss guy next. Here he is, Virgil. And yeah. This is a really interesting fight, is this one, because this fight is essentially one of the most balanced fights of all time. It's one of those fights that when you know it, when you know how to play the game well, this fight isn't that hard, but when you don't know how to play the game well, ooh, this is the fight that'll punish you. It's a learning curve fight, and that's what makes it interesting. But once you get it down, it feels good, and then you get beaten down right afterwards. Where the game says, you're not good enough. Yeah. But the narrative is tied to everything. Like, everything in this game. But yeah, okay.
Sincerest apology, brother.
Obviously, because I'm super powerful, it's not going to have the same effect. But if you're playing the first playthrough, this fight's going to kick your ass. But if you're playing the second playthrough, you're just going to. It's probably going to be one of the easiest fights in the game.
How about a kiss from your little brother?
Because you just know how to actually do it.
Or better yet, how about a kiss from this?
Granted, I'm playing with Swordmaster, so I'm going to have a bit of a challenge here because usually I would play with Trickster for this fight. There's no point in having Swordmaster for this fight at all. Like, this is the fight that you use Trickster for.
You got that right.
So yeah. So he's going to just do that and then you counter. That's kind of what this fight is. It's just like evade and counter. But I actually have Devil Trigger, which you're not supposed to have at this point. So you can make things even easier. You know? Oh yeah, this is one of those cases where having Trickster would have been really handy here. Ooh, he actually Royal Guarded that. Right. Yeah, if you have Trickster, you have that snappy movement. But if you don't have Trickster, you don't have that snappy movement, and that's a huge problem. So I'm just gonna like, Jesus Christ, he really does not like me to use Stinger, does he? But when I do this and just do regular combo, it's like a bit different. But yeah, he's just biding his time, trying to use his Judgment Cut. Oh, that statue blocked me. Yeah. As I say, don't know where he's gone, he's back here. But I've more or less said what I need to say, so let's just finish this fight off. And yeah. I should have had that out because that would have finished the job, but yeah. Not the best of my fights with Virgil, but it is what it is. You know. At the end of the day, I'm not using Trickster, so with Swordmaster it's a lot harder. A lot harder, and I recommend if you fight this guy, switch to Trickster. It makes things a lot easier because you have the snappy movements with the dodge, and that's what this is all about ultimately. And you can worry about the combos after. You don't really need to worry about like stylish combos against this guy.
The power of our
So yeah, that's kind of the whole situation with this whole gaming thing for me. And I just feel that, and this was a topic that was inspired by a video that I watched not long ago, and I just thought, you know, when is it a good time to just stop watching, well, stop playing a video game franchise and just drop it? What's the next franchise I drop, you know? And it's like when you talk about the games you love, you know, it's like, but you don't get involved in you don't want to get involved in the communities and talk with the communities because they love all the games, but you only love a few of them. So who do you talk about it with? You know what I mean? And it isolates you, and yeah, it's kind of sad, really. But that's the problem, really. But at the end of the day, it doesn't change the fact that gaming right now is not in a good place. It's only going to get worse. Like, Microsoft are trying to acquire fucking Valve. When that happens, God help us all, we're all fucked. Like, my god. Just everything just seems to just be getting worse. And it's just going to get worse and worse because people aren't making a stand. And especially with Nintendo, like, the Nintendo fans are the worst. They really need to see sense. They really need to see the light, I swear to God, but they never will. So gaming is doomed. Gaming is over, you know? I'm just riding the last fucking bit of what gaming has left, which is probably Star Ocean. I think Star Ocean seems to be on a bit of a renaissance. I think Star Ocean is, as of late, is actually one of the few franchises that's really doing well.
I see a devil inside you has awakened as well.
And yeah, so I'm not saying that I'm completely done with gaming, but
We should leave.
you know, like, I'm done with most modern games. You know, I just don't care. I just don't care about it. I just want to play the games I love. That's it. That's kind of where I'm at. I know it's boring, but that's kind of it. And I've been trying to, and that's the thing, right now, as of right now, I'm not in the mood for trying out new, like, obscure titles. I just want to play the games I love, and that's kind of the phase I'm in right now, which is why I reviewed Pokemon Colosseum, because it's a game that I love, and I wanted an excuse to go back to it. Even though no one's going to freaking watch my review, no one's going to care. I just did it as an excuse, just so I could go back and play the fucking game. You know? That's the only reason why I did it. Just like I'm doing this video as an excuse to play Devil May Cry 3. Yeah. I'm just doing this video as an excuse to play this game again. Because I love this game. And that's the real reason why I'm doing it. I know. But that's the thing, you know? That's what it's all about. That's pretty much the state of gaming. Pretty much what I think. And to answer the question of when should you drop a game franchise, well, oh, hang on. The answer is simple. When, really, it's when you've had enough, you know? When you just don't enjoy the games that you're playing anymore, and and it's screwed you over for too long, you know, like when a game series has been bad for the longest time and just you see no hope of it evolving, then that's the time to just stop. But like I said, it's not that simple. It never is that simple, people. There's so many different answers to that question, but I know what most people are just going to say the same thing I just said right there, because they don't make reviews, and when you make reviews it's kind of a tricky one, but that's the thing, isn't it? But ultimately, I wish more people would just stop playing franchises that they're just not into and just stick to what they like, instead of trying to give things a second chance, because I don't think it's worth giving games a second chance nowadays. You know, you either like them or you don't. There's too many games out there to just give anything a second chance nowadays. That's kind of how I see it, and game companies aren't going to take that into account, that people are going to give it a second chance, because too many people will always buy the games anyways, regardless of quality. So no matter what you do, you're fucked, you know? So you might as well not even bother giving them a second chance, you know? And that's how I see it. Because there's too many games to waste time giving franchises a second chance. I mean, why play something new when I can play something like this? I mean, like, look at this cutscene, man. Like, this is what I love about this game. Like Devil May Cry 5 has so much just standing and talking in the cutscenes. This game has shit like this in the cutscenes. This is what Devil May Cry 5 is missing. Like, this shit. Like, the crazy over-the-top choreography just taking center stage with very few words. Like, the characters barely talk. They barely say anything, but they do a lot. And that's the point. That's what I love about this game. It's all about the choreography. That's what the cutscenes are. Its actions speak louder than words. That is what this game's all about. And that's one of the reasons why Devil May Cry 3 will always be the best 3D beat-em-up of all time. Thanks for watching, guys.